Hey guys, my name is Roman Anthony. Welcome back to my vlog and the channel. Hit that subscribe button if you have not, or a like button or a thumbs up, depending on what social media platform you are viewing this. Share it with your friends too. So on this vlog, we're going to talk about the 10 things that I hated about Paris. And for me, it's not like hate, more so grinded my gears, because obviously I realized I was moving to a whole new country, so that things were going to be completely different than what they were or are in the USA. With that being said, let's jump right on into the video, people. So my first, the one number one, the thing that the first thing. Actually, these are not even going to be in order, but the first thing on this list right here is laundry service. So in Paris, if you are lucky to have an apartment with a washer, you might not be lucky to have a dryer. Sometimes they're connected, but a lot of times to save on energy in Europe, they don't really dry their clothes. They hang dry them, which I think is really cool. It's just not something I'm used to, and that's hard for me. Since I was in a chambre de bon, I didn't even have a washer. I had to walk 3 or 4 blocks to the laundromat to do my laundry. The downside to that is, because it was, pretty convenient because they actually had dryers. The downside to that is they're obviously a lot smaller than you would find as far as laundry centers or mats in the States. But also, they don't have that machine where you can put paper money in, or paper euros, I'll call it. It's still money. Paper money in to get change for the machine. So typically, when you're using the washer dryers, you can use money, coin, or paper in order to type in a number, that your machine number or whatever. It weighs it, tells you the price, you put in the money, and it'll give it to you. I have a clip of doing laundry. So here's how you do this, because it took me like a good 10 minutes to figure this out. So like each laundry situation is numbered. Then what you're gonna do is you'll come over here to the central payment machine, and then you type in the number of your machine, and it'll weigh it and tell you how much to pay, and then you can just put the bills or the coins in here, and it starts automatically. That is so cool. Saves a lot of time. Okay, second thing on my list, going with the laundry, banking. Okay, first off, if any of you guys have a French banking account, the amount of security it takes, you need certain codes just to even log in on mobile banking every time. Like, if I don't do my thumb thing where it, like, or fingerprint, whatever, for it to like log me into my mobile banking for friends, it requires 2 different passcodes, temporary passcodes, and all that crap, and it is so hard to log in. On top of that, in going with the whole laundromat situation, there was a time where, the first time this happened, I did not have enough paper money or coins on me in order to do laundry. I needed coins. I didn't need the paper money. But yeah, basically, I tried to go to a bank to exchange, like 10 euros for a pack of, you can get $10 for $10 in quarters or something like that. I'm thinking, oh, maybe I could do something similar. I could basically just get some money from the bank, because that's what they do. They give you money if you have money in there, or if you have money on you. So I went to the bank, and he was like, oh, no, we don't do that here. This is France. And I was like, is it because this is in my bank? Because I could go to my bank. It's just a few more blocks away or whatever, if that's the problem. I mean, it was more than a few blocks. It was definitely like, it was the next train line. But like, to do laundry on laundry day where you already got laundry in a thing, I might as well just run over there. Yeah, no, they don't give change at the banks in Paris. So, yeah. Also, one thing I hated was, and this isn't even on my list, but it just popped into my head. Whenever I would go to the ATM machine at the banks to like get money, you can get money, but you know how in the States you can also deposit checks or deposit money? You can't do that. You have to literally go inside of the bank in order to deposit money. They have a machine in there that you can deposit in, but the outside machines, you can't deposit money in there. You can only take money out. So I thought that was very strange because, yeah, it was annoying because not all, sometimes the banks wouldn't be open, so you couldn't deposit money into your banking account to pay your bills. Or, and then after COVID, you had to schedule an appointment to even get in there or whatever. So then you call them, they'll tell you when to come back or whatever like that. It was a whole ordeal. SFR. If any of you guys, if any of you guys go to Paris and you guys get the phone, and you know, you're probably going to go to the tobacco store in order to get a SIM card for your phone, or you might just say, hey, I'm here, living here, not here on vacation, so you might want to go to an actual company, phone company, to get a chip for your cell phone or whatever. Do not do SFR. Girl. So basically what happened was, let me tell you what happened. I get there and I asked a friend of mine, I was like, hey, what phone company do you use so I need a French number, because you need a French number to get a French bank, you need a French bank to get a French number and an address, and etc. We'll talk about that later. It's a catch-22 there. So he was like, yeah, I use SFR. I've never had a problem with them. They're great. So I go to SFR, turn on the phone or whatever like that. Seems to be cool. I happen to be passing one, just walking around at one point, and I was like, oh, let me do this today since I'm passing it. Go to SFR to get an SFR phone and Wi-Fi for my apartment. I didn't have a TV, but like they had a thing where it was like for 19.99 euros, you can get like the cable box, the Wi-Fi box, and a SIM card for your phone. That's a great deal because my bill here in America is almost $100 by itself for just the phone. So I do that. A week later, they turn it all off. I contact them. I reach out to them. They're like, oh, it'll be on in a month. I'm like, but I paid already. Like, you can't just take my money and then cut off my services. I go to SFR. They're like, oh, no, you have to go to the one you have to go to this location. Go to that location. No, you have to go to the location where you set up at. Go to that location. No, you need to come back with your passport. I'm like, what the HE double hockey sticks. So basically, yeah, after that, I went to Free. Free is a bit better. I mean, I've had a few issues with them, but at least they're not like, just like robbing me, because SFR was robbing you. And then you look at their reviews and they were terrible. And I didn't look at that before. I just trusted my friend who hadn't had a bad experience, but I guess a majority of people do, especially foreigners. And I was like, yo, y'all about to make me hit up the embassy or something, because y'all not about to rob me. I went up in one of them stores and I was like, let's just say security. Because no, the one thing I don't play about is my money. I work really hard, and what you're not gonna do is rob me. That's when I can get real hood on you. So yeah. Now I have Free. I still have Free. I'm back in the States, but I still have my Free SIM card. And the only issue was when I lost my SIM card here, probably at my mama's house when I was visiting. And I had to order a new one and have my friend ship it to me and all that good stuff. But yes, I still have my French SIM card. Like I said, and then after, like, I returned the cable box and the Wi-Fi. So after that, it'll probably just go, I think, to like $10 a month or something like that for my phone. So that's not a big deal. Because you never know when you're going to go back to France. Me, I'm trying to go sooner rather than later. So I'll actually so I still have my bank there, and et cetera, et cetera. So the third thing on my list that grinded my gears, the metro strikes. Now, anyone who's ever been to Paris, during the metro strikes, I mean, literally, okay. So the first month I got there was cool. 3 months after that, I mean, like the following 3 months, the trains were on strike. So you got to walk everywhere. Mind you, it's like wintertime. So you got to walk everywhere. You got to take scooters and Ubers and Lyft. No, they don't have Lyft, but they have Captain. So you take Captain, you take Uber, you get scooters or something like that. I definitely learned how to ride those little motorcycles. I'm like, but like, seriously though, like the metro strikes, and then after the pandemic, since there was a curfew, literally like 2 hours before the curfew, they, like, if you were on the train would just stop where it was, and you got to get off and go where you're going. It's not going to finish its route. It's not. You're not gonna get to the next destination. No, they stop the train. The police get on the cart, and they're like, "Yo, y'all got to go." And wherever you at is where you at. So it was hard sometimes. It really was. I mean, I did a lot of walking, but since I moved to Atlanta, I've only been here since the end of August. I've actually gained 7 pounds. So all that Waffle House and not much walking. So in my previous video, I did mention les gardiens, which are the building managers. Um, Yeah, and if you watched another video of mine, you'll see that my building managers attacked me. I'll have to put links to those two videos in the description box. It was very off-putting. For on New Year's Day, I had just got back from London, and since the trains were still sort of on strike, it was hard as heck getting from what did I take? I think that time I took the bus. So I went from the bus station, getting from the bus station, um, getting on the train, then having to get off the train because it stopped or whatever, and like with my luggage to get from London all the way back home. It was a whole day of ordealness. I probably should have flew but no, I didn't fly because I was like, it's farther from the airport. Like the train does go to the airport, but with the trains being off and on or having a curfew, I felt like it was easier to take the bus because that would be more city center. Um, but yeah, it was just a lot. They like threw my packages at me saying I got too much packages. And then, typically, like, in the States, when you have like a doorman or something like that during the holidays, you'll give them a Christmas card, maybe put a little money in there as a thank you. And I had good and well planned that. I was out of town at the time, so I was going to give it to them when I got back. However, after that incident, I was like, y'all ain't get a thing for me. And then one of the guys who spoke English, I think on the third floor, he was like in charge of the building or whatever like that. They were like the guardians to clean the building and give you your mail. And he was like the manager type of person to make sure things ran smoothly, probably because he was bilingual. Anyways, he wrote me a note saying that I should pay them to be happy to me. I mean, to be nice to me. And I was like, the devil is a lie. So basically, I was like, bruh, I'm gonna tell you this one good time because you came up my stairs and wrote a note on my door previously before. So bring your my stairs again and I'm knocking you down these stairs. And I'm not trying to be all derogatory. I'm not trying to be violent. However, you're not gonna attack me and then you're gonna go with them. Like they're not wrong for physically like attacking me. Like they lucky they owed. Because if I wasn't raised by my grandmother, my other instincts would have kicked in and I would have kicked ass. However, I was like, you know what? It's the holidays. I'm not trying to bring in drama this year. It's literally the first day of 2020. So, like, at that point, I was over it. I was like, I'm not paying no one to be nice to me in any shape, form, or fashion. If you don't like me, you ain't got to like me. But don't touch me. Don't threaten me. Don't assault me. Don't cuss at me. If I don't do anything to you, don't do it to me. Because I won't do it to you. But when you come for me, trust me, I come in tenfold with razor blades and lemon juice. So let's not play these games. Okay? Y'all know I'm from the Bay Area. It's a walk up. It's a walk up. For any of y'all who saw For Color Girls, y'all know that line. It's a walk up. The walk-ups in Paris. A lot of the old buildings does not have an elevator. Mine did, thankfully. Granted, it was like this big, so it could fit my head. Um, but I still had to walk up two flights of stairs, not like flights, but like lobby flight type stairs to get to the elevator. And then when I was in the elevator, after I got off the elevator on like the fourth floor, I started to walk up two more floors because I was on the fifth floor, technically six in the States because they count the first floor as floor zero in Paris or in France. I'm probably going to reference Paris a lot because I was in Paris, even though I'm pretty sure these are probably typical standard rules for France. And I think even in the UK, the first floor is floor zero, but I'm just going to say Paris while I'm talking about Paris. But yeah, the walk up, especially with like me being a freelance cosmetologist, I'm always having to carry around my luggage or like my suitcase and bags and stuff. That was really challenging sometimes when somebody lived in the building and they like 6, 7, 8 floors up, but they don't have an elevator in their building. And you have all this heavy shit, and then you get up there like, yeah, now I got to do hair. I just felt like I just got a workout in. Like, Yeah. And one tip I will give you guys if you're moving to Paris is that so basically, in America, the higher you are on the floor, the more money you apparently have, or the better it is because you got the view, you got the balcony or the terrace, etc., etc. The higher you are, the better it is. Not in France. You want to be on that floor. Floor zero. It's like floor one, two, or three. Those are like your prime floors as far as the apartments are huge. Like, you're like, okay. I mean, and if you live in the right neighborhood, you don't even have to worry about getting robbed because they didn't even have bars on the windows. So, I mean, but I was in a really good neighborhood. It's on the Monopoly board, but I was in the Chambre de Bon. So, I mean, so I think my biggest pet peeve in order to cancel anything in France, whether it's a phone bill, a utility bill, because I had to switch my utility service too when they started overcharging me for no reason, like double charging me by I guess like a couple times and then didn't want to refund me. But basically, when you want to cancel a service in France, you got to write a physical letter. Like you got to get out a notebook, a paper, you got to write it down, put it in an envelope, and then put a stamp on it and send it through La Poste. You cannot just email them. You can't text them. You can't tweet them. You can't call them and say, hey, my name is Monsieur blah blah blah. I would like to cancel my service. No, you have to write a letter. And that is so old school. And I asked someone why. And they were like, well, a lot of old people don't know how to use email. I'm like, well, then let they ass go on over and write the letters or whatever like that. Let them send a fax if they know how to use a fax. How y'all should have multiple streams of how to cancel a service. It shouldn't be like so hard in 2020 is what I'm saying. I can literally go on Twitter right now and look at one of my USA companies and be all like, yo, I need to cancel. Thinking like, what's your email, what's your number, account number, and blam. Or they'll call me or something like that. They'll schedule something. Like you get response. Not in Paris. So be mindful of what y'all doing out there. I even used a utility company that had English speakers in customer support, but your bills still come to you in French. Everything comes to you in French. When somebody calls you, they call you in French. If you call the company, it's in French. So, working on it.